David on Real Talk No Filtre. I have my lovely guest, Kim Hopkins. She has been, well, you know what? Let her tell you who she is.
Hi,
Hey,
it's nice to meet you. I am Kim Hopkins, and I'm an international award-winning actress and model for over 50 years. So yeah, that's who I am. And I'm a mom, and I'm a good friend, and I'm an acting coach. I'm just a human.
to make it simple, I'm not even, to be honest with, like I said earlier, I don't want to bore you with questions I've heard many, many times. I might say one or two of them, but to be honest with you, this is real talk, and I want us to get down to the nitty gritty. First things first, how you liking stardom? To be honest,
How am I liking what?
stardom.
Oh, stardom. Well, I don't know that I would say I was a star, but I enjoy when people recognize me. There was a guy at a sushi place and he like came over and sat down. He's like, "Are you Kim Hopkins?" Said, yeah. He's like, "Oh, I just want to say hi." I was like, "Okay, hi." you know, I kind of, I've always sort of like, in a weird way, stepped away right as things were getting to a certain point because I like my privacy and I'm kind of a homebody. But I think I've gotten past that now. And there are some things coming up that are really exciting that I can't really talk about, but that's not going to be the case anymore. My son was really famous. Like,
Mhm.
like when we would go anywhere, everybody knew who he was and he hated it.
I maybe have to interview him after that. After this, to be honest with you. Next question I'd love to ask you. I've seen that you're a director as well. What got you into directing from being, I guess, in front of the camera to going behind the camera?
Well, that's I think you innately pick those things up as you go through your career. And since I've been doing this since I was 3, it was always something, you sort of direct yourself anyway. But I wanted to do different kinds of roles than I was being offered. So I went to film school and I had already written something for myself. And I decided to direct myself. And I just really enjoyed directing the other actor. And after going to film school, it was like, there was nothing else I wanted to do except for direct. I didn't want to do any of the other jobs, but I learned all of those things. And it's just such a wonderful thing to be able to have a certain amount of control over every aspect of a project.
That makes perfect sense. I see plants in the background. Did you do them? Or are you a gardener or you have a green thumb?
Oh, no, nope. I keep thinking they're going to die. I've had them for about a year. And they filled my apartment with plants for a film that I worked on during COVID. And they said, your apartment doesn't have like, I said, no. So they sent me a bunch of plants and here they are.
Still kicking, so that's good.
Yeah.
Being an actor, an actress, and being your modeling gig and being a director, most likely you travel the world and so on and so forth. Where's your favorite place to go or favorite place you have visited?
Oh gosh, I visited so many amazing places. I can't, I love Italy. I love all of Italy. But I think Tokyo and Mexico were my 2 favorite places because I lived there the longest.
Mhm.
And the people there are amazing and the food is incredible. And I think I like other countries because I like the architecture and the culture. And I don't feel like there's as much of that here in the United States.
I agree with you so much. That's one thing I wish North America as a whole was more of, especially when you go to the European Sea, the countries, especially Greece is fantastic. Italy, like
I
you
haven't
mentioned as
been.
well. Oh,
I haven't been. I haven't been.
I haven't been either, but just the history and what I see, it's fantastic. Especially one of my friends, he actually grew up in Athens. He sends me pictures over Facebook and just how it looks. I'm like, that's one place I must go.
I have a half sister named Sunny. She
Mhm.
lives in Arizona and she lived there. And I
Mhm.
never went to visit her when she lived there, but she lived there for a while and I envy that.
That is awesome. Earlier we were talking about tequila. What do you just like to just drink it as is, or do you like it with a meal, or has to be like the mood being setted, as in like you're watching your favorite TV show, movie, or something like that?
I don't usually drink when I'm watching television or films because I really like want to see all the nuances. That happens when you go to film school. I don't usually drink very often. When I do, it's usually when I have friends over and I let them try all the different tequilas. And
That's
like I
awesome.
said, I have a favorite that I'm like in love with right now because it isn't too alcohol-y. It's kind of sweet. Yeah, I don't, but I drink it straight. I don't
Great.
have a lime. I don't have, salt or chaser. I just love the taste of tequila.
That is awesome. Do you normally like do a lot of hosting at your apartment, or do you prefer to go out? But I remember you said you're a homebody, so I guess you prefer just hosting at home.
Uh, I I don't host people. Well, I haven't for like almost 2 years now because of
Good
COVID. But
answer.
I do like to. I love to cook. I am a
Mhm.
gourmet chef. Like I studied I actually studied cooking, but I every country that I went to, I would find either like a caterer or someone's grandmother, and I would learn their native dishes. So
Mhm.
I love to cook. So I do like to have people over to eat, but in general, I like to be alone.
No, that's fair. Mention that as well. You going into the love and cooking and so on and so forth. Would you have chose to be a chef versus going down the being an actress and a model? Would that been your second choice or third choice?
My second choice, I actually studied child psychology. I love children. And when I
Mhm.
was growing up, I always babysat and I worked at the local nurseries and kindergartens. And when my son was in school, I assisted in his classes until they told me I couldn't anymore, which was around third grade. I probably would have gone into psychology, child developmental psychology.
Oh, that's awesome. Did you ever needed it in a sense with raising your son?
Oh yeah, no, definitely. My son's father and I split up when he was very young,
Mhm.
and it came in very handy that I did study child psychology. Um, yeah, and it comes in handy all the time. I mean, I do still read a lot of psychology, not the self-help books, but actual, you know,
Makes sense. That makes
yeah,
perfect sense. A couple other questions I'll have for you that I've written down, which is fantastic. Um,
I'm here.
what advice would you give someone going into acting or modeling? And I've noticed as well that you're a comedian as well.
Okay, so I'll take the comedian part first. I haven't done stand-up for a while.
Mhm.
My stepfather and my father were both comedians and actors and very successful. Um, I picked it up about 13 years ago, right before my father passed away.
Okay,
So he got to hear me. He was blind, so he couldn't actually see me do stand-up, but he heard me and he was very proud of me. So that was fun. I will be doing stand-up again as soon as things calm down from COVID.
awesome.
Um, in terms of what advice I would give to someone, I would just say follow your dreams. If this is really what you want to do, just understand that it's a business. It's not, like stardom. It's a lot of work. And so you
Mhm.
have to put in the work and be persistent and be consistent. I say this all the time in probably every interview because it's so important to understand that if you just hang in there and you keep training and you keep doing what you need to do, you will work. I mean, it's a numbers game and it's just being professional.
That's really good advice. And like you mentioned, it's practice makes perfect. You really have to just keep going and put in the work. When you start not doing that work, then you start seeing the bad results, and you start hating those days of getting up and going to the shows and those things as well. Biggest thing I would say, question for you, being a comedian, would you rather do that over being an actress? In a sense that one, being an actress, you're in front of the camera, versus being a comedian, you are in front of a live audience. So it really is an immediate response from the crowd to see if you're doing well or not.
Well, I had a couple of nights that weren't so much fun doing comedy. Actually, one night where like nobody was laughing in Vegas. I started cracking up at my own jokes. There's some photos on my Facebook page. You should check them out. I was laughing so hard when I came off stage. The guy backstage, the host was like, I don't understand. You were so funny. I don't get it. And I was like, I got it. I understood where it went wrong. But he goes, you were having so much fun. It made us laugh back here. And I was like, that's great. Yeah. Theater. I love theater. I love doing theater. I love getting that immediate reaction from the audience and the input. And that's amazing. But I feel the same way about film and television. You transform, you kind of, well, I do. I sort of just leave this plane and I become a part of what's going on. And so that's such an incredible thing to me that I'm aware of what I'm doing, and I can do, if they need another take and they just want it a little bit different, I can do it and make the changes or keep it the same. But there's just something really like out of body for me when I am acting in front of a camera that I love. So I wouldn't give up either one of them, to be honest.
That is awesome. That is awesome. I like that. I try doing, I can't crack a joke for the life of me. I've written down a couple of things. I'm like, oh, I got to tell this to my friends. And it's just like, literally, I just hear the crickets. So is it hard to come up with jokes?
I'm not a joke. I tell stories more than I do. Like I'm a storyteller, not a joke teller, but my stories are weird and funny. So
are they based
sometimes
off of,
people don't, huh?
I assume they're based off of real life experience then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a crazy little family, so they made for lots of fodder.
That is awesome. You mentioned your son earlier. What is he into? Because you said he was famous at that time, or is he famous right now as well? Because honestly, I don't know who he is. So just give me a little insight.
Well, he specifically asked me not to mention him anymore.
Okay.
Little brat. He works in aerospace now, and a lot of the things that he does are things that I'm not supposed to talk about, so I can't talk about that. But I can tell you that he starred on a show called Movie Stars. He played Apache Harden. He was nominated for an award for, I think it was Promised Land. Promised Land? I think Promised Land. Yeah, he started working and he wanted to beat my commercial record, and he came close, not really, but he did. He did a lot of commercials, and he started working in television and film, and then he got the show Movie Stars. And when that ended, he was really close with Harry Hamlin and Jennifer Grant, Mark Benninghoffen, and a lot of the cast. And it was sad to him. I think he was 15 when he stopped, but he just didn't want to become emotionally attached like that and then not have that relationship with those people anymore. So he literally, when it ended, he just said, okay, I don't want to do that anymore. And I went, okay, don't. Your choice.
Which is, I really do love your spirit and your mindset on that, because a lot of parents, I shouldn't say a lot of parents, but some parents would actually push their kids to go into acting and continue even if they want to stop. So I'm glad that you gave him that choice of freedom, because I know I've seen it before, that especially acting and even child pageants, that happens as well, that a lot of parents push their kids into it. And in me personally, I don't feel like the kids have that freedom to express themselves the way that they want to.
A lot of them don't, and it's really unfortunate. I had the honor of being directed by Abigail Breslin, who is starring in Stillwater, that's opening tomorrow. I'm seeing it tonight. I'm so excited to see my friend. But she and I became good friends. I'm going to work on her show this year sometime. But she was telling me about her mother, who also happens to be named Kim. And I've never met her mom yet, but she was such a good stage parent, like a manager and mom. And Abby is one of the most well-rounded people that I know in this business. She's dedicated to her career, but she's also just a great human being. And every time she tells me stories about things that her mom did, I want to meet her mom, because she was such a good mom and she raised such a great woman now. But there are a lot of parents out there that push kids into the business to make money, or they want to be, you go to an audition or you come to the set and the mom's all made up and ready to go. It's like, they've already cast shooting it, you're not going to get a part. But it's, yeah, it's tough. It's tough to see those kids that are in that situation. But there's a gentleman named Paul Peterson, and he has a group that is really behind children and making sure that they have, you know, what they need and that they're not being taken advantage of.
My final question, and to be honest with you, I'm still shocked. So I threw a post out in Facebook. So I just need to know, why my channel?
Why what?
Why come on my channel?
You just seem like a nice guy. I don't know.
That works. That works for me.
I liked your energy.
That works absolutely for me. That's fantastic. Final question. Final to my final question.
Okay.
What inspired you to get into acting?
Well, I was 3, so I think the other day I was with my mom, who's 88, and she was so cute. She's so cute. She's like 4'10" or 11 now. Oh. She's tiny. And I was talking to her about what I mean. She goes, "You're an actress." And I went, "Yeah, I am." And she said, "And you're a director." And I said, "Yes, I am." And she goes, "You were born to do this. This is what you were born to do." And I said, "Okay." I think I was born to do this. Actually, I did a Dharma quiz online. This girl named Sahara Rose, she has a book out and she does a quiz. It's a free quiz. And I answered all the questions. And at the end, it said that I was an entertainer and a teacher. And I was like, that's exactly what I am. I'm an entertainer and a teacher. So awesome. I guess I was just born to do this.
Well, Kim, I know you're a very busy person. I want to thank you for coming on the show. I wish you all the luck, the achievements, anything that's coming up. I will definitely check it out. Any last words?
If anybody wants to get in touch with me, they can find me on Facebook or Instagram at the Kim Hopkins. And I answer DMs and I answer messages, and I can help you if you want to get into the business or you just want to chat.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And for sure, I will talk to you very soon. Take care.
Awesome. I'd love to. Take care.
Bye.